everybody, and welcome to a new program of this podcast, Barcelona Guide, a podcast where you can get ideas and tips to discover this amazing city. I am José Gómez, the founder of Looking Barcelona, a company where I provide tours to explore this amazing city. And today, I'm going to talk to you about La Casa Batlló by the brilliant architect Antonio Gaudí, a monument classified by UNESCO as World Heritage Site. Children love this house. This is a dream, a fantastic house. Gaudí was inspired in a tale to design it. Let me show you this amazing site. During this chapter, I'm going to give you some tips that both you and your children can enjoy this unique house to the fullest. A few months ago, I dedicated a chapter on how to approach the visit of La Sagrada Familia with children. La Sagrada Familia was designed by Gaudí as well. I already told you that children love Gaudí's works because when we enter to one of those houses that he designed, we enter an imaginary and fantasy world. The house, Casa Batlló, is located at the number 43 of the luxurious Paseo de Gracia. The previous chapter is dedicated to this beautiful avenue. If you come to Barcelona, it's worth a visit. The house is easy to recognize it. The facade is lined with multicolored pieces of ceramic. The columns on the first floor look like bones. Yes, bones. We'll talk about that later. Let me explain a little bit about the story of the house. In 1904, Mr. Batlló, one of the richest businessmen in the city, commissioned something surprising to Gaudí, to make a total reform of a building that Mr. Batlló already owned. Mr. Batlló gave to Gaudí a free hand to transform this old building. He only wanted one thing, to make the most surprising and special house in the city. And wow, Gaudí got it. He only took advantage of the building's structures. He added 2 more floors and a roof terrace. To visit the interior of this monument, you need a ticket. I recommend you to purchase it on the Casa Batlló official website to save extra commissions. When buying the ticket, you must choose a time. And what is the best time? Well, with children, I think the best time is in the morning, early in the morning, around 9 p.m. I know that sometimes can be difficult to wake up early, but I mean, it's worth that time. It is the time when they are fresher and energetic. Children, I mean. We also avoid the hottest hours. In Barcelona, summer months are very hot and humid. But at Casa Batlló, there is another reason to go early at morning. And it is that the interior of the house is narrow, and in months of great influx of visitors, sometimes it is difficult to move forward, and then our little ones can be overwhelmed. And so if you are ready and you have your tickets, we can start the visit. Before entering and to admire it in all its splendor, I recommend you to go to the opposite side, from the other side of the street, where you have a very good view. You will see how the facade is lined with many pieces of ceramic, which give it a lot of color. First of all, ask to your little ones if they know the legend of St. George. St. George is very important in Barcelona. Actually, there are representations of him throughout the city. Here, he is known as Sant Jordi, is the local name. In fact, Jordi is the most popular name here. If you don't know the legend, don't worry. Let me explain to you it in 2 minutes. Legend says that centuries ago, there was a village near Barcelona where a dragon lived. The dragon was not vegetarian. He loved to eat humans. So people who lived there in the village, they invented a kind of lottery to see who will be the dragon's meal. One day was the princess who won that macabre lottery. So the princess, she went to the cave where the dragon lived. She was walking very sad when suddenly a handsome gentleman appeared. He was San Jordi, of course, who fought very bravely against the dragon until he finally killed it. And from the dragon blood, and here comes the important part of the story, grew up a rose bush. St. George picked up a rose and he offered it to the princess. It's really nice, isn't it? And this is how on April 23rd, we celebrate Sant Jordi in Barcelona. Men, we offer a rose to our women, and women give a book to men. It is really a beautiful day. Actually, on the facade of Casa Batlló, there is representing a great dragon. Let's ask our kids if they can find it. Yes, it's on the highest part of the facade. There is a great resting dragon. At the right, there is the head with the eye. The central part is the back, and the tower is in the left. Is the spear nailed to the dragon. So next to the tower, the scales are red because of the blood of the terrible animal. The scales are made of ceramic. The balconies represent the skulls of the dragon's victims, and the columns of the first level gallery, they look like bones of the dragon victims. So I know that the story is a bit macabre, a bit gory, but the colors on the facade, the shades of blue, the greens, the purple, everything conveys life to the facade. I recommend you to take a photo. From here, you have a magnificent view of this amazing work. Now, we can cross the street and get into the house. If the exterior is inspired by the legend of St. George, the interior is like an underwater world. They say that Gaudi was inspired by Jules Verne's novel, 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, for the decoration of the interior. And really it seems that we are in a submarine. So inside windows, inside are wavy, and some of them are small round openings, like those that we found on boats. On the walls of the hall, there are drawings that looks like the scales of the dragon, waiting for us on the roof terrace. After we will talk about that. Kids love to see the beautiful crown of Poseidon. Poseidon is the Greek king of the seas. It is on the stair rail. Ask them what the ladder remains for them. It is the spine of the dragon, made of wood. From the first moment, children realize that they are in a very different house. Wooden, doors, windows, everything is wavy and sinuous. The stained glass windows are made up of many bright colors, and the ceilings are decorated with large spirals. On the first floor, we explore the public and private rooms of the family, and in the back part is the backyard, where the children of the family used to run and play. As soon as we leave the Batlló's apartment, a staircase leads us to the upper floors. The staircase is located on the side of a patio. The walls are lined with blue tiles. The bluish tones are changing. In the lower part, it is a dark blue, and little by little, it transforms to a light blue, much lighter. Gaudi designed it in this way to break monotony and create a game of perspective. The staircase is protected by an opaque glass. It is very funny to look through it. It gives us the impression of diving. Going upstairs, we reach the attic. Each floor had a small space in the attic, a storage room. In the attic, everything is white. There are many arches and indirect lights. Gaudi was inspired by the typical Mediterranean houses of Ibiza, North Africa or Greece. White houses with small windows. At the end of the white corridor, we find a spiral staircase going up to the roof terrace. Tell to the kids to go upstairs first. They love to explore where this spiral staircase leads. From the roof terrace, you can enjoy a magnificent view of Barcelona. You see the mountains of Montjuic and Tibidabo Hill. Also, the Paseo de Gracia and the chimneys of the house, lined with multicolored pieces of ceramic. In the part that faces the facade, we can touch the back of the great dragon that we saw from the street. Children usually love to touch the scales, that they are made of ceramic as well. We can enter inside the dragon's belly. This is a small room that formerly was used as a water tank. Today, there is a small fountain and lights that are reflected on the white walls. The silence contrasts with the echo produced by the sound of water. It gives a feeling of being inside a cave. Leaving it, we can descend, we go downstairs, and we can do it by the stairs or we can use an elevator. I recommend you, of course, to take the elevator. It is really beautiful, made of wood and very elegant. Children like to push buttons because this is these elevators from beginning of 20th century, very different than today elevators. Going downstairs, you can see the gift shop. It is interesting to see a small exhibition of some of the chairs that Gaudi designed. They are ergonomic, fully adapted to our body, and with very original shapes. There are also some photos of Batlló's family when they live in the house, and that's interesting. And ladies and gentlemen, well, that's all for today. If you like this podcast, you can do a like. You can also help me by writing a comment. In this way, the algorithm will recognize this podcast as interesting and it will help me a lot to reach more people. You can also subscribe to the podcast. In this way, all new chapters will arrive to you. So, see you soon and goodbye. Adios.